Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.4 Notes, Day 2. Today we're talking about graphing linear equations in slope-intercept form. Our learning target today is to be able to graph lines in slope-intercept form by using the slope and y-intercept. Now, slope-intercept form, what is it? Now, if you guys remember back from your freshman year, I know it's a long time ago because it was 2 years ago, slope-intercept form is y equals m x plus b. Now, the reason why they call this slope-intercept form because m stands for your slope and the b stands for the y-intercept. And the y-intercept is a point 0b. Okay? They're real creative with the name because when you look at it, you can see what the slope and the y-intercept are, and you can go directly into graphing. Whereas before we had to do the table of values, plug all that stuff in, we will no longer have to do that. So, but before we get started, let's just go through some practice. Identify the slope and the y-intercept, okay? Slope is the number that is next to the x, okay? So, if we say the slope is 3, we want that as a fraction, so it's 3 over 1. Now the y-intercept, if you remember the intercept, the last two letters are PT, which stands for point. We need this as a point, okay? So it's always 0, and then whatever that number is. Let's look at the next one. The slope, -1/2, and the y-intercept, 0, 3. All right, why don't you guys go ahead and try number 3. I'm going to wait for you. Okay, now the slope is a number that is next to the x. So it should be -4, which is -4 over 1. And then the y-intercept is the number that's by itself, okay? The y-intercept can be a fraction. That's okay. Okay, now the slope and y-intercept of an equation cannot be identified until the equation is written in slope-intercept form. So since the slope or the y is not by itself, we have to make sure that it is. So there's the y right there. How do we get it by itself? Well, we do that by SADMEP, okay, the reverse order of operations. So we have to subtract the 2x to both sides, and we get 4y equals -2x minus 8. The y is not by itself yet, so we have to divide by 4. And we get y equals, reduce the fraction, -2. So our slope is -1/2, and our y-intercept is 0, -2. All right, let's do another one. There's the y. Let's get it by itself. I have to add the 3x to both sides. -2y equals 3x minus 12. Divide everything by -2. And we get y equals -3 over 2x plus 6. So our slope is -3 over 2. And the y-intercept is 0, 6. All right, number 6, you guys are all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video and see how you do. Okay, so when you go through and solve this, make sure to get the y by itself. So the first thing we have to do is subtract the 9x to both sides, divide by a -3. Make sure you pay attention to your signs because when you divide two negatives, you get a positive. And like we talked about before, it's okay to have a fraction as your y-intercept. Ooh, my graphs didn't come out, so this will be a little bit tricky. Why don't you guys go ahead and pause the video for a second and wait. Okay, there we go. So, graph each of the lines, slope and y-intercept if necessary. Rewrite each equation into slope-intercept form. So, when we're doing this, we want to know what our slope is and what the y-intercept is. All right, our slope is 2 over 3, and the y-intercept is 0, -4. Now, our slope, this is telling us the rise over the run. Okay, and the 0, -4, that's where we start. Okay, so we're going to start at 0, -4, which is down there. And I am going to follow what the slope tells me to do, which means I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 3. And that's my next point. And then all you do is you follow it. You're going to keep following the pattern up 2, 1, 2, 3, over 3. And once we go all the way to the right, let's finish it to the left. And now we're just going to continue the pattern, but we're going to go backwards. So down 2, 1, 2, 3, over 3. Down 2, 1, 2, over 3. Down 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay? And then once you get that, you can draw your line. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Our slope is -6 over 1, which is a fall over run. Okay, it's negative, so that means we have to go down. And our starting point is 0, 7. So remember, this is where we start at 0, 7. And the fall tells us to go down 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 1. And those are the only points that we can add onto the graph. So then just draw your line, make sure you're adding the arrows. Okay? All right. For number 6, our slope, -4 over 5, which is fall over run. And where we start is 0, -10. So we're down all the way there. Now, can we go 4 over 5 negative and still be on the graph? No. Okay, so what we have to do is the exact opposite. This is the only time that we can go to the left. Okay, so to do the opposite, we're going to go up 4, but then left 5. So the exact opposite of what our slope tells us to do. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And the key thing is when we draw the line, we still have to be falling. And 5. So after you draw the line, is that going down? Yes, it is. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. So now what we have to do is it's not in y equals mx plus b. So we're going to have to go through and solve for y. So to do that, we would subtract 2x to both sides. -8y equals -2x minus 16. Divide by -8. And start reducing the fractions. 1/4 x plus 2. You need to know the slope, which is 1/4, and the y-intercept, which is 0, 2. Okay? And then we go through and graph. Okay, this is our rise over run. So start at 0, 2, go up 1, over 4, up 1, over 4. And then just repeat the pattern on the other side. And then then you can draw your line. Okay? All right, next one. So once again, we got to solve for y. Subtract the 7x to both sides. We get 14y equals negative 7x minus 28. Divide everything by 14. Y equals, reduce the fraction, which is negative 1/2 x, minus 2. So our slope is negative 1/2, 0, negative 2. And this is negative, so it's fall over run. Okay? So starting at 0, negative 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, over 2, down 1, over 2. And then just continue the pattern on the other side. And then once you got all that, draw your line. All right. Number 9, you guys are all on your own. Please pause the video and try it out. Okay. So we added the 3x to both sides, divided everything by 2. Remember, we want that as a fraction. Our slope is 3 over 4, which is rise over run, so it's going to be positive. And we start at 0, 4. And that's what you should have got. All right. Moving on to number 10. Subtract 3x to both sides. You get 9y equals negative 3x. Do we write the plus 0? You can, but we are not going to. Okay, that would not be in your final answer. So when you solve this, reduce the fraction. Our slope is negative 1/3, and our y-intercept is 0, 0. Okay? Now, if you remember, that is called the origin, so right in the middle of your graph. Okay, and this is fall over run, so down 1 over 3, down 1 over 3, down 1, 1, 2, 3. And then just continue the pattern on the other side and draw your line. Now, in class we talked about if you have a point that's out of whack, that means you probably did something wrong, because every single one of these makes a straight line. Okay, number 11. Why don't you guys pause the video and see how you do. Okay, so go through and solving for y. Add the 4x to both sides, divide by negative 8, reduce your fractions, you get negative 1/2 x over, or negative 1/2 x minus 6. So your slope is negative 1/2, and your y-intercept is 0, negative 6. And then go through and graph. All right, last one. So solving this one, let's add the 3x to both sides. You get y equals 3x plus 10. Oh no, hey, look at that. Everything's already by itself. Our slope is 3 over 1, and our y-intercept is 0, 10. So let's graph this. I start at 0, 10, but oh, I can't go up 3 over 1, because that would be up there. So for this, we just have to do the opposite of the slope, okay? So instead of going rise over run, we're going to go down 3, and then we have to go left 1. So 1, 2, 3 over 1. 1, 2, 3. The key thing here is that this line is still positive because our slope is positive. If you end up drawing it the opposite direction and it's going down, you're drawing a different line. So be very careful with what you're doing, okay? But that's going to be it for Algebra 2, Chapter 4.4 Notes, Part 1. If you have any questions, please come see Ms. Carranza or myself because we would love to help you out. Thanks for watching, guys.